Okay, this is, court is in session. In cause number 328486, case is styled the state of Texas versus Rakima Harrison. Ms. Harrison, your full name, Rakima Tamika Harrison. How you doing, Ms. Harrison? That's good, Ms. Harrison. You're represented here by your attorney, John Macy. Attorney Macy, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Your Honor. Thanks for asking.
And the state is represented by attorney Tommy Coleman. Attorney Coleman, how are you doing?
Good job.
Mr. Macy, what is your announcement in Ms. Harrison's case?
The announcement is that Ms. Harrison signed up for the BIP program a couple of months ago, and so she's doing that. And so we're just needing a reset so she can continue to work on her program.
How much more time? How long have you been in the program?
I started March. The classes I started in March.
You have about, what, 16 classes or 18?
No, I just started the classes in March, so I got until August or September.
Okay, what we're gonna do, we'll reset it 90 days. To check on the status, see if you're still in the program. That should give us enough time to gauge whether or not you're still in the program or not.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna reset it 90 days.
August 15th.
Okay, August 15th is gonna be the date. All right,
Thank you, Your Honor. Once we get that, she can leave.
yes, you'll be, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Stand over there with your attorney. Your attorney's gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Is Brian McCarty here? Mr. Porter? Look like he has a, look like he has a felony. He's in drug court. Oh, excuse me, should have been Byron. Should have been, I mispronounced his first name. Should have been Byron McCarty. I think I said Byron. Yeah, it should be Byron McCarty. Okay, I see that he's supposed to be in drug court.
On that, Judge.
Yeah, I see. Some-
Yeah, I do know he has a pending felony and it's
It's set
for
today, right,
So,
drug court. So
that's all I know about
he
it.
may be over in drug court.
He-
I mean, you can check, he needs to come over here before he leaves.
I'll check on drugs.
Okay.
As soon as I get finished.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we're gonna go to the trial docket. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call on the name of William Roundtree? It's Mr. Mayo. William Roundtree. Court is in session in two cases. first case is cause number 325322. Second case is cause number 325324. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus William Roundtree. Mr. Roundtree, is that your full name?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Roundtree?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Roundtree, you're here represented by your attorney, Thomas Mill. Attorney Mill, how are you doing?
Good morning, fine, Your Honor.
And the state is represented by attorney Kathleen Nelson. Attorney Nelson, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Mr. Mayo, what's your announcement?
We're ready for trial.
Okay, so we're gonna have to reset that. Give us a reset date.
Your Honor, I'm going to be on vacation July 18th.
What about the
I will
25th?
be back.
Okay, okay, we'll reset it to July 25th. Mr. Roundtree, you can get your reset from your attorney who will be signing for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayo. This your last case?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Okay,
Yes,
you're
sir.
free to
Thank
go
you.
and you have a blessed day.
Pretty good.
Yeah, hold on a minute, I got somebody else before you. Mr. Paget,
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
okay, let's see.
I have one case on your trial docket, Your Honor, and two cases on your pretrial conference docket. Two cases will be Mr. Coleman and one case.
Trying to see if your people are here. Moore is not here. Mr. Oh, yeah, you have Jonathan Alvarenga.
Alvarenga.
Would you please call Jonathan Alvarenga?
And this is.
Yeah, he has Jeffrey McConnell as well.
McConnell's going to be in custody, Your Honor. He's the gentleman that has the felony, unless he's gotten out within the.
He's out on I don't see him on the docket. He doesn't have his jail.
Jeffrey McConnell. I'm almost certain.
328-624. This is a pretrial conference docket. This is cause number 331-116. Case is style of state of Texas versus Jonathan Alvarenga.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Alvarenga?
I'm good myself.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Alvarenga. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Mr. Paget, what's your announcement in Mr. Alvarenga's
Your Honor,
case?
we've received an offer from Mr. Coleman this morning. I would like to relay that offer to my client. I'm certain it's going to be one that's acceptable to him. It's exactly what we were hoping for. So if you would just place us on a plea docket, this case will be disposed.
How much time do you need?
Just the court's regular reset. I just want to make sure I have time to review this offer.
Give us the
with my
recent
client.
date. Okay, it's June 20th of 2022. Mr. Alvarenga, your attorney's gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
No. Mr. Moore did not answer.
Caitlin Moore,
Oh, good.
Caitlin Moore, you please come forward. Mr. Paget, you need to sign for your reset.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Moore, please stand on the X. It's on the pretrial conference
It
docket.
is, Your Honor. And this is going to be Ms. Marcy's case.
Okay, this is cause number 329-784. Case is style of state of Texas versus Caitlin Moore. And Mr. Moore, your full name is Caitlin George Moore, is that correct?
Yes.
How you doing, Mr. Moore? How are you doing? That's good. Mr. Moore, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. Attorney Paget, what's your announcement in Mr. Moore's case?
It's the same announcement, Your Honor. I've just received an acceptable offer from Ms. Nelson. I think I would just like to have some time to go over with Mr. Moore. This is my first time speaking to Ms. Nelson about the case. So-
Okay,
And the offer has improved.
okay. Okay, this, you say June 20th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this case is gonna be reset to June 20th of 2022. Mr. Paget, please sign for Mr. Moore's reset. Mr. Moore, once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. Jeffrey McConnell. Jeffrey McConnell. On the announcement, Dr. Jeffrey McConnell. Maybe please ready. Okay. Okay, Mr. Patrick.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, Jeffrey McConnell hadn't appeared, no,
Because I mean, I just don't understand how he's not in custody because but if he's not in custody, that's great.
you can check, and see, is he,
It looks like he was transferred to Harris County.
oh,
See, he had some felonies in Harris County.
But there's no mention
Well,
note.
that's my understanding. See, he was here and my understanding is he had some felony cases in Harris County that he was transferred. That's
okay,
the-
his
the
bondman never
latest.
got us any information on that.
So I mean, look, I understand the court's position.
Hold on, she gonna
I
check, she
hate
got,
to-
the bondsman sent some information.
I just hate to have his bond revoked if in fact.
It's
he
not
was
gonna be
transferred.
revoked, the bondsman sent the
Yes, Your Honor.
information.
I understand.
We do have some information.
Okay, so he's in Harris County Jail.
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
On that third case, we don't have an attorney.
On which one?
On the fourth, on the third case,
Well, I'm not on.
he's on two of them.
I'm on. But I mean, thanks for, sometimes I do overlook those, but that time I did. It's
Okay.
intentional.
Well, this case is gonna be reset.
Yes, Your Honor.
Felonies, we can reset it with the felony.
Yeah, we could reset it, but he got a felony on June the 6th.
I understand.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you get your reset, once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. I think that's your last
I
day.
have one more, Mark LeBlanc. your
Oh, he has
trial
another
docket, Your Honor. And This would,
Mark
this would be Ms.
LeBlanc,
Nelson's case. This is Mark LeBlanc, your trial docket. And this is Bruce.
do we have any? No, I was looking at a note. Okay, this is cause number 321-312, case is styled, state of Texas versus Mark LeBlanc or Mark Edward, excuse me, it's Charles Marks. No, that's a
It's
different
Mark
one.
Anthony LeBlanc.
LeBlanc,
DWI.
oh, here it is. This is cause number 325-867, case is styled, the state of Texas versus Mark Anthony LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. LeBlanc?
Fine, and you, Judge.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Ms. LeBlanc, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney James Paget. And Attorney Paget, what's your announcement, Mr. LeBlanc?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Okay. You gotta get a reset on that.
July 18 or the 25th?
Whatever pleases the court, Your Honor.
We do the 25th.
That should give us plenty of time.
25th?
Ms. Nelson.
Okay.
In her defense, Your Honor, she hasn't had the opportunity, and it's been through 3 prosecutors, so.
So how much time do you need, Ms.?
you know,
White man, woman, she was on the streets, trying to consume some structural living, so I can get some phones.
So I would defer to her as to how much time she needs, because I'm prepared and, but I don't want to hit her.
You, okay, how much time?
30 days is fine.
Okay,
Well, the trial setting, you can do July 24th.
okay. Case is gonna be reset.
All right. Well, no, actually, John, Judge, can we have more than that?
Okay,
I think I'm
give
gonna
her
need
more time.
I'm just trying to be fair to her because
Thank
I'd
you.
like to have an opportunity to really discuss it with her.
August 8th, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, reset to August 8th. Mr. Paget, you can get your reset it. Once you get your reset from your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, you'll be free to go. And Mr. Paget, I think this is your
Yes, Your
last
Honor,
case.
thank you.
This is your last case. You'll
Yes,
be
Your
free to go as well, and you have a blessed day. Go ahead, Mr. Reynolds. Gregory Carrington. Mr. Coleman. I'm doing fine. Hey, this is called, is be on the announcement docket. This is Gregory Carrington or Gregory L. Carrington Jr.
No, sir.
Okay, just Gregory Carrington.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is cause number 329546, case of South State of Texas versus Gregory Carrington. Mr. Carrington, again, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks, Pat. Mr. Carrington, you're here represented by your attorney Nathan Reynolds. Attorney Reynolds, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
You have an announcement you'd like to make?
Yeah, at the last hearing, there were some issues about whether he was Gregory Carrington Jr. or Senior. I think now that's been cleared up.
Yes, Your Honor. The way I've handled that in the past is the state goes by the name that is listed on the defendant's criminal history. The name that's listed on the criminal history is simply Gregory Lee Carrington. That's what's listed on the criminal history. No junior, no senior. That would be my recommendation or the state's position as to how we move forward, listing this defendant on the judgment the way he's listed in his criminal history.
Okay, and y'all, you gonna amend the information or something? Are you
That's what I'm saying.
gonna leave it the same?
The information that says Junior.
Right,
Well, I'm okay with striking that surplusage language if the court is okay with that.
I don't know if it's called surplusage. You know, y'all, you put it down on the information. Surplusage is something that's irrelevant. I mean, I'm sure there's a junior out there somewhere.
Yeah, my son is a junior. I don't want this to fall on him.
Judge, I'm okay with amending the charging instrument. I don't know if you're
Okay.
okay with doing it here in court, or if you want us to however you want.
I mean,
If we can amend it today, we'll waive our.
yeah, okay, okay, you wanna do a trial amendment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you have no objections
I
to,
have no objections to amending the name to
you
Gregory.
have I need a print out for information.
And I don't have the plea papers filled out
Oh.
yet, Judge.
Yeah, I'm okay with the court if you just can interlineate. I guess.
Well, that's why I need a copy of the information.
I have my copy.
No, I was asking her, can you print me a copy?
Yes, you may talk to you.
No, it's gonna take, because it's got your date of birth.
Anyway, we can't do nothing with the caption, but we can do it in the body.
Can we amend?
What's going on? You wanna,
Well, if the caption is not amended, and I don't know how it shows up in the records at the county clerk's office.
well, this,
But he doesn't want somebody to do a background check on Junior.
And it's not just the name, it's the identifiers. I mean, all that stuff's gotta match up, is my understanding. It's not simply just the name. You know, when I say identifiers, I'm talking about date of birth.
I mean,
social
you see,
number, that kind of
how long would it take for the state to, you know, amend it? If you're just gonna amend it without just doing a trial amendment,
I
so we won't have to have this problem.
I don't know, Your Honor. I mean, certainly we can get it done, you know, with a standard reset.
Okay, want to do that?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll do that. Reset to amend. Let's see, it gives a standard 30 days. It's on Carrington. Oh, I saw it. Oh, Carrington. So I'm going to reset to amend info. And what's that reset date?
June 20th.
Okay, we reset it June 20th. Okay. Okay, we go ahead and reset it. And once you get your reset, you'll be, that's your last case.
And I'll have Richard Vasquez.
Okay, Mr. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go.
Yes,
Okay, you have a blessed day.
thank you, you too as well.
Okay.
Program on this channel interested in this race, and this is a nice way that I can do it.
Wait a minute.
Candidates, Mastriano running
Mr. Ross, you have your mute, please put your mic on mute.
the steel rally.
Thank you.
Were you gonna call Richard?
I'm looking, see if you say he's on the docket. Yeah,
Okay, he's on, he must have been moved, because he's got a felony case.
yeah, I didn't see it. Yeah, he's not on either one of the dockets.
Is that Jeffrey Vasquez?
No. She said Vasquez. But-
All right, so I think that was my only case, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Jimmy Doss and Jalen Adams. Do we have an add-on?
No.
Oh, we don't? Okay. Jimmy Lee Doss Jr., please come forward. Miss, first case on the announcement docket. Miss, yes, first is Miss Nelson's case, first case on the announcement docket. Okay, this is cause number 321234. Case is Solid State of Texas versus Jimmy Lee Doss Jr. Mr. Doss, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Doss?
I'm doing well, how about yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Doss, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney John West. Attorney West, how are you doing?
Good, John, thank you.
Attorney West, what's your announcement in Mr. Doss' case? I have a note here to say you're supposed to pay restitution.
Yes, Sean, this has been, we've reset it a few times for restitution. He's been trying to get the restitution, and you have it this morning today.
I got 400 today.
Is this the one we did a final reset on this guy? We wasn't gonna give you no more extensions?
Yeah, yes, but I've been living paycheck to paycheck.
I understand.
And I got 400 today, and
Yeah, I don't know what the restitution is state.
I know the 681. But y'all could take the 4 today.
They have to take the full amount.
I don't have the full amount, I just have the 400.
State, what's your position? I think whoever was the last prosecutor,
It was a Blake, I think. Was
Blake, I think they said it was gonna be like the last reset. He's been, we gave him, I don't know how many times, reset it several times to give him an opportunity to get the restitution, probably since 2021, maybe somewhat back in there.
Well, Mr. West.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, man.
Mr. West, you could inquire of your client how long it would take to get that additional 400? Initial two, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It's up to the court if the court will let it have some more time, but I know that.
Well, I mean, for the prosecutor made the offer. I don't make the offer.
Any more days.
Okay, we're gonna give you 40. Let's get it reset for 45 days. The person that has Ren's phone, please put your mic on mute. Thank you. What date is it reset to?
Well, we set it to July 11th.
What's the amount? You said, is it 681? $681.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. West, you have another case, Jalen Adams. Come forward. Okay, just hold on. This is Jalen Adams, I think Mr. Coleman's case on a pre-trial conference docket. Pre-trial conference docket.
Yes, sir.
This is cause number 331084. Case is Solid State of Texas versus Jalen Richard Adams. Mr. Adams, is that your full name? How are you doing, Mr. Adams? Doing fine, that's good. Mr. West, you have an announcement?
Your Honor, can I just have a moment to talk?
Okay. All right. We'll go to the next case. It's called Mr. Langston Adams cases. Rodney Cleveland. Okay, that's one. Yeah, more than one. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to find it. Okay. Is that Min Doc Fam? Min Doc Fam? That's on the trial docket. It's it's Miss Nelson's case. Min Doc Fam. What's your announcement, Mr.? Okay, we're gonna give him a reset date. Okay. Yes. July 25th, Mr. Adams. Mr. Pham's case gonna be reset to July 25th. Get your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. Okay. Is that Doc No or Doc Nago? Okay, this is cause number 330746. Case is style of State of Texas versus Doc Nago? No? Ingo? No, he didn't say Ingo. No? Go. Go.
Yes.
Not go. How you doing, Mr. Go?
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Gold, you're here represented by your attorney, Mr. Langston Adams. Mr. Adams, what's your announcement?
Same, Your Honor.
Okay, this is gonna be reset to the 25th as well,
Yes, sir.
July 25th? No, this is Gold.
No, I'm talking.
Oh,
Yes, hang on.
okay. Mr. Adams, you can get your resets. Once you get your
Thank you,
reset,
Judge.
give your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Appreciate you. You too.
All right.
Talk to Monet. She on her way.
Hey, Mr. The person on Ren's phone, keep your mic on mute, please.
Oh, you talking?
Okay, Todd LeBlanc. We have Alasia Nushay Compton appearing on Zoom. Alasia Compton.
Yes, sir.
Clause number 330276, case of style of State of Texas versus Alasia Nushay Compton. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
Can you repeat that, sir?
How are you doing?
Good. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. You're here represented by your attorney who's appearing in court, Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc, how are you doing? Attorney LeBlanc, what's your announcement?
Yes, I believe it's employed now. Need another reset.
How much time do you need?
You're live.
July? Give us a July date. Okay, it's gonna be July 11th. Mr. LeBlanc, you can sign for the reset. Ms. Compton, your reset will be given to your attorney and your bondsman. Your case has been reset to July 11th. Stay in contact with your bondsman and your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
Charles Marks,
He's out in front of CHCR.
Mr. Porter, would you please get Charles Marks? That's on the trial docket. Mr. Marks, you come. I think that's Miss Nelson's case. It's on the trial docket. Mr. Marks, your full name is Charles Edward Marks.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Marks?
I'm all right.
Mr. Marks, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing? Mr. Burbank, what's your announcement?
Your Honor, Mr. Marks was living in Houston, I think still is.
Yes, sir.
He has family here. He has corrected some of the things that were going on before. There's an offer of a JP offer, and I would ask for 45 to 60 days, or maybe 45 days. He's going to accept that JP offer to take care of it.
And I just had a few more questions.
No,
You can talk to your attorney about your question. Let me do this and just reset it for 60 days. It's off the trial docket. It's resetting. He says it's gonna be a JP reduction.
yes,
Is that correct?
yes.
Is that your?
Yes.
offer?
Yeah, okay.
He had some transportation problems before, Judge. This has been a long time coming.
I understand. You had COVID.
Hopefully, and I was court appointed, and now we have a meeting of the minds and everything should be fine.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to July 11, 2022. JP
He's
reduction.
gonna do that before, then, and we'll get the receipt, and we'll not have to come back.
Okay, you can get your reset, Mr. Burbank and Mr. Marks. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you. Mr. Burbank, is this your last case?
That's it, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
I think this might. That's a deal.
Crystal Moore? Okay. I think he's asking that question. He's not saying that. He's asking you. All right.
I'm Judge, I'm just requesting more time. I requested a tape on April 6th and I still haven't got it yet. That's the
Okay.
issue. I don't think it'll be resolved.
All right, this is cause number 330-450, State of Texas versus Brandon Scott Brewster. And Mr. Allen, how much time do you need?
30 days. I
Mr.
got
Parker?
regular reset, probably.
Regular reset? Could you give us a reset date?
June 20th.
This case is going to be reset to June 20th of 2022. Mr. Brewster, your attorney is going to get your reset. He's going to sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Parker, This is the last case, the only case?
that's all I have.
All right, you're free to go as well. You have a blessed day. Court is in session and calls number 328-070, case of style the state of Texas versus Crystal Kiara Moore. Ms. Moore, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Ms. Moore?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. Ms. Moore, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Don Boudreaux. Mr. Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, and you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Attorney Boudreaux, what's your announcement?
Your Honor, we were set for trial. There's always a possibility that something might work out, but at the present time, we have to continue the
Okay.
trial setting.
Give us a trial date. Okay, this case is gonna be reset for trial July 25th of 2022. Ms. Moore, your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you will be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
All right, please stand over there, Mr. Boudreaux, and sign for your reset.
What day you said again, sir?
July 25th.
July 25th?
Yes, he's gonna give you a copy of the reset with that date on it. Next case, next two cases on the trial docket are cause numbers 323-465, cause number 329-263. Both cases are style of state of Texas versus Ashley Broussard Alfaro or Ashley Elizabeth Alfaro. We have Ms. Alfaro who is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Alfaro's attorney, Mr. Jared Gilthorpe, is also appearing via Zoom.
Tomorrow morning. Did y'all ever start on the other app?
Would you put the mic on mute? Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
Okay, I see your client is on Zoom. And what is your announcement in Ms. Alfaro's case?
Judge, on this case, I'm going to ask to withdraw. Ms. Alfaro's made allegations that are adversarial in nature against myself.
Did
And I don't feel I can represent her effectively at this point.
Did you file a motion?
I have not, Judge.
Okay, well, we need a motion, a written motion.
I don't believe that's required when they're present, but I can put it in writing.
Okay, that'll be fine. And so I can give you time to do that. I'll just reset this case to give you opportunity to get your motion on file. How much time do you need?
Judge, I can have it filed in the next 30 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll hold. Ms. Now, will Ms. Alfaro have a copy of it?
I mean, not if I'm filing it right now. I don't believe so.
She has a right to see what's in the motion.
That's fine, Judge. I can get her a copy. She emails me. I certainly have her email.
Okay. All right. So we'll give you an opportunity to draft up your motion.
Okay. I'll get it filed right now, Judge. Thank you.
Right. You're welcome.
No, I'm sorry. The only Alfaro I have is on the plea.
It's on the trial docket. Mine's on the trial
I've
docket.
got an Antonio Alfaro.
Mr. Gilthorpe, are you going to be handling Stephen Russell's case? I mean, for Mr. Dustin Galmore?
Yes, Judge. He has a felony that was just reset. We would like to track it with the felony.
Okay, Mr. Stephen Russell is in court. This is cause number 328018. Case to style the state of Texas versus Stephen Russell. And Mr. Russell, how are you doing? Now, Mr. Russell, your attorney of record is attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore has to be in another court. However, his law partner, Mr. Jared Gilthorpe, is standing in for Mr. Galmore. Does Mr. Gilthorpe have your permission to stand in for Mr. Galmore?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gilthorpe, what is the announcement in Mr. Russell's case?
Judge, he has a pending felony that was reset this morning, and we would like to track it with the felony.
Okay. They haven't put the reset date in the computer, so what we will do, we'll have our court coordinator to continue to look at the case, and when a date gets placed in, we'll place it on the same date, and that's your request, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
State, do you have any objections?
Certainly not, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Russell, your case is gonna be reset with your felony case. Once we get that felony date, we're gonna send notice to your attorney. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on a minute. Is that Mr. Martinez? Is, well, it's a Miss Veronica Martinez? Okay, this is cause number 326428, case is style of state of Texas versus Veronica Martinez. We have Miss Veronica Martinez appearing via the telephone. Her attorney, Ms. Marvel Provo, is present in court. Ms. Martinez, can you hear me? How are you doing, Ms. Martinez? Okay, Ms. Martinez, you're here represented by your attorney, Ms. Barbara Provo, who is present in court. Ms. Provo, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor.
And Ms. Provo, what's your announcement in Ms. Martinez's case?
Okay, Your Honor, we have had this case on the pretrial docket for the fact that we had submitted her name for pretrial. However, it was denied. So
Okay.
what I want to do is to place it on the announcement docket, move it to the announcement docket so we can talk and converse with the DA.
Okay, how much time do you need?
About 60 days.
Okay, reset it for 60 days, give us a reset date.
And we have extended that offer as well.
Okay, so you have no objections?
No objections.
Okay.
July 18th.
Okay, July 18th of 2022, Ms. Provo, you can get your reset. Ms. Martinez, your case is gonna be reset to July 18th of 2022. Your attorney and your bondsman will be given copies of those dates. You will stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
All right, you can get your reset. You have another case. You have, oh, he's in jail. Okay, yeah, you're free to go.
I'll say it. We can sign it. Please don't, I'll call.
Derek Garrett, he's in jail also.
Right, the jail,
An attorney, no, that's an attorney for
I'll check it.
Ryan McQuillan. He's on the announcement docket, represented by attorney Charles McIntosh.
Yes, Judge, this is one of the ones that I had filed a motion to withdraw on. The court should have a copy of it.
You print me a copy of his motion to withdraw. Mr. McQuillan, you can come forward. Print 2 copies, gotta give him one. If there. Cause number 327-464. Yeah, his attorney, Mr. McIntosh, is on Zoom.
Okay, great.
Mr. Porter, I have to give him, got a copy to give to him. Was it just one copy? Yeah, I'm gonna need another copy for myself. You can get this. It says motion. What's on the back? You only have one order, yes. Okay, Mr. McQuillan, this is cause number 327-464. Case to style of state of Texas versus Ryan McQuillan. Mr. McQuillan, is that your full name?
Ryan Leonard McQuillan.
Okay. How are you doing, Mr. McQuillan?
Pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. McQuillan. The attorney of record is Attorney Charles McIntosh, and Attorney McIntosh is appearing via Zoom. Attorney McIntosh has filed a motion to withdraw as your attorney of record in this case. And Mr. McQuillan, you have a copy of that motion?
Yes, sir. I'm reading it right now.
You reading it? Okay. Okay, you finished reading the motion? Now, do you have any objections to Mr. McIntosh withdrawing as your attorney? Okay, now, Mr. McIntosh was appointed in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. McIntosh, your motion to withdraw will be granted. This is the, let's see. I don't know about him. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now, Mr. McQuillan,
Yes, sir.
your new attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case is Attorney Lori Perazzo. And our court coordinator is going to give you the information on how to contact Mr. Perazzo. Mr. Perazzo is going to be giving information on how to contact you. Please stand on the X, the 4X in front of our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Okay.
Good luck to you, Mr. McQuillan.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'm still in the middle. I got Mr. McIntosh.
And Judge, if I may.
John Guillory. He's on Zoom.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Guillory.
Yes.
This is cause number 331154. State of Texas versus John Angel Guillory. Mr. Guillory, you're represented by your attorney, Mr. Charles McIntosh. And Mr. Guillory, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. And Mr. McIntosh, what's your announcement on Mr. Guillory's case?
Judge, if we could just reset this one for June the 6th. I need to get in contact with Mr. Guillory. If you would call my office, where then hopefully we'll be able to have a resolution by then.
June the 6th? Okay.
Yes.
Is that a good day for us? Reset him on June the 6th? John Guillory, page 3 of the announcement docket at the bottom. Okay. Mr. Guillory, your case is going to be reset to June 6th for announcement. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bond. Your case is reset. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, and you do the same.
And then Judge, if I may, Mr.
Yeah, but
Kelly, Tom Kelly is not going to be available this morning, and I do have an announcement for his client. I
Okay, hold on, let's,
believe he's him as well.
okay. Vince, Visek been swearing, I think he's on Zoom. Vin Kid swearing.
Yes, Your Honor. Hi.
Okay, this is cause number 325-818. Case is style of State of Texas versus Visek. Vin K. Swearing, Mr. Vin K. Swearing, how are you doing?
Oh, well, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Vin K. Swearing, your attorney Tom Kelly is unable to be present in court today. However, Attorney Charles McIntosh is here standing in for Mr. Kelly. Mr. Vin K. Swearing. Does Mr. McIntosh have your permission to stand in for Mr. Kelly?
Yes, he does. Yes.
Mr. McIntosh, what is your announcement?
Judge, this case is going to be refiled as a JP case. And he just needs to pay the fine. So if we could just have a standard reset to allow that process to work its way out.
Okay, Sadie, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, how much time do you need?
I would think just a 45 or 60 days would be more than enough, Judge.
Okay, give us a 60-day reset. Okay, this case will be reset to July 11 to give Mr. Vin K. Swearing an opportunity to pay the, for the case to be reduced to JP and Mr. Vin K. Swearing to pay the fine. Okay, Mr. Vin K. Swearing, stay in contact with your attorney. Your attorney will be given a copy of your reset date. Your reset date is July 11, 2022, to give you an opportunity to pay your fine for the JP case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe I have, Judge.
Is this your last case, Mr. McIntosh?
I believe so, Judge.
Okay, Mr. McIntosh, you're also free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, you're welcome. Cody Welty. This is cause number 329272. Case is style of State of Texas versus Cody Cheyenne Welty. Is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Welty?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Welty, you're here represented by your attorney, Bruce Smith. Attorney Smith, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Mr. Smith, what's your announcement in Mr. Welty's case?
Your Honor, this is a companion case, the felony case that we had this morning. So we set the time for discovery and felony court. We're asking that this case follow.
Do y'all have a reset date?
They did, but they didn't tell me what it was.
Okay. It's not in there? Okay. What we're gonna do, we're gonna have our court coordinator to track it. Once they put a reset date in, we're gonna set it on the same day. State, you have an objection?
No, Your
to that? Okay. Okay, so Ms. Welty, you're free to go. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Smith, this is your only case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I need to sign anything? No. Okay.
No. Mr. Williams, pro se. This is cause number 329406. Case is style of State of Texas versus Kenneth Williams or Kenneth Dwayne Williams. We have Mr. Williams appearing via Zoom. Mr. Williams, will you please take your mic off of mute? Mr. Kenneth Williams, you could take your mic off of mute.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Williams, is he, hold on a minute, is he representing himself? 329406. On the announcement docket, page 2 at the bottom.
Good morning, Your Honor. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Hold on, Mr. Williams, we're trying to check on something on your case. Okay, now, Mr. Williams, your case is set on the court's announcement docket. What is your announcement in this case? I see that you're pro se, meaning that you're representing yourself. I think something
Have a
is,
witness, mom is here.
okay, hold on a minute. I think something is wrong with your Zoom, because I think it's frozen on this end, I can see.
Hear me?
Mr. Williams, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, Mr. Williams, what is your announcement?
Okay, I was letting you know, Your Honor, that I have my mom here as a witness.
Okay, this case is Mr. Williams. Okay, first of all, you're representing yourself. This case is not set for a trial today. And if it's set for a trial, you'd have to be in person with your witnesses. Okay, so this is not.
Your Honor, I would like to plead guilty.
Okay, so you need to be here in person so that we can handle the plea bargain agreement that you make with the state, okay? So what we can do, I can reset this case to give you an opportunity to talk to the prosecution. And if you want to enter a plea of guilty, you can do that on that day. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's give him a 30-day reset. Okay, this case is going to be reset to June 20th. Mr. Williams, stay in contact with your bondsman. Your bondsman will be given a copy of your reset date. You're free to go and and on June 20th, you need to be here in person.
What's the prosecutor name, Your Honor?
Miss Kathleen Nelson, Mrs. Kathleen Nelson.
Okay, I'll give her a call.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You have a blessed day too.
You're welcome.
Motherfuckers.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
They always bothering me, man.
Mr. Williams.
Come around here.
Okay, let's see who we have. Charlie Rojas. Okay, Jelvin Salone. Jelvin. Yeah, Mr. Salome, are you appearing? Are you on Zoom?
He's on Zoom, Judge. I think he's the 409 with ending with 317.
317?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salome, how are you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Salome, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rojas, what's your announcement?
Judge, we actually signed the pretrial diversion contract back in April, Judge. I don't know why this case, it should be dismissed. I may have just slipped through the cracks at the DA's office.
Well, it's not dismissed. What we'll do,
I'm happy to follow up on it.
the state will follow up on it.
Okay.
In fact, I will say this, Judge, when I looked at the case in preparing for today's docket, it did indicate in our workflow system that the pretrial diversion was approved. So those notes were in our.
Y'all see that here, proof of pretrial diversion. Oh, that was last year. Okay. Mr. Rojas, we'll just give you a standard reset. Would that be fine with you?
Yeah, Judge, as long as it gets dismissed before the next reset, that's fine.
I'll follow up after the docket.
They say they're gonna follow up after the docket.
Sounds good.
Reset date. Okay, this case is gonna be reset to June 20, 2022. Mr. Rojas, your reset will be sent to you, and Mr. Salome, stay in contact with your attorney. Mr. Salome, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. Mr. Rojas, is this your only case?
It is, Judge.
You're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, the person that's on Zoom that has Galaxy A21, would you please take your mic off of mute and state your full name? person that's on Zoom that has Galaxy A21, would you take your mic off of mute and please state your full name?
I don't know.
Yeah, hold on, Mr. Williams, hold on.
I just want to apologize to you and the courtroom.
I think, Mr. Williams, your Zoom is breaking up. We can't.
Yes, sir. I just want to apologize to you, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, I was just trying to tell you, you can't use that language in the courtroom. Now, if you,
Yes,
curse it, use that language again, the court can hold you in contempt of court. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
All right.
understand.
All right, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Let's see. This. Mr. West, you have another case?
We're on one case.
Judge Holmes,
Okay,
this is Ashley Elizabeth Broussard Alfaro. What are my options now that Gilthorpe has withdrew?
well,
And give me the benefit of the doubt to.
Ms. Alfaro, the state has not, the court has not granted the withdrawal as of this moment. It's my understanding that Mr. Gilthorpe is going to file a motion to withdraw. The court has not received that motion to withdraw. And it's also my understanding that Mr. Gilthorpe is going to give you a copy of the motion to withdraw. So at this point, we're waiting to get a copy of the motion to withdraw. And so the court has not made a ruling on the motion. So right now, we're just waiting to receive the copy of that motion. Okay?
Do you want me to stay on Zoom?
Just hold on. Mr. Gilthorpe, what were you saying?
Yes, Judge, I'm preparing that motion now. One requirement is that they have notice of any future hearings. And so I think the proper procedure will be to reset it.
Okay.
And if, as soon as I have that date, I can plug that into my motion and file it.
Okay, give us a reset date. No, put it on an announcement docket. June 20th? June 20th. I'll tell you what, keep it on the trial docket. Yeah, we gotta see whether or not that's gonna be granted or not. Uh-huh. Yeah. What date is that? June. What's it? Okay. Okay, this case is gonna be reset to June 20th on the trial docket. Ms. Alfaro.
Yes, sir.
Your attorney and your bondsman will be given a copy of your reset. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go. And you have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient with us. And Mr. Gilthorpe, your reset will be sent to you. You're free to go and you have a blessed day as well.
Thank you, Judge. It'll be coming. I'll have that motion filed in the next 20 minutes.
Okay.
Bless you too, Holmes.
Okay.
Bye.
Barlow. Mr. Gilthorpe.
Yes, Judge.
They say you had another one named Barlow. Oh yeah, Woodrow
Yes.
Barlow. Is
Yes,
next.
Judge.
Woodrow Barlow. All right, how you doing, sir? Need to do we got any pleas ready? Yeah, he has some cases. Yeah. This is cause number 324325. Case is style of state of Texas versus Woodrow Barlow Jr. Mr. Barlow, would you please stand on the X in front of the bench? Mr. Barlow, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Mr. Barlow, you're represented by your attorney, Jared Gilthorpe, who is appearing via Zoom. Your attorney is on Zoom. Mr. Gilthorpe, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge.
Mr. Gilthorpe, what's your announcement in Mr. Barlow's case?
We're ready, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna have to give you a reset date on that. It's gonna be reset to July 25th of 2022. Mr. Barlow, your case is gonna be reset. You can get your reset here in court, stand on the 4X. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. And Mr. Gilthorpe, I think this is your last case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
And we're waiting on the pleas to be finalized. We'll have a plea on Haynes and one on Martinez.
And potentially one on Adams.
Okay, did you sign the paperwork?
Not yet,
Not yet,
potentially,
Judge.
we're working on something.
Oh, okay.
We may have one. I'm hoping.
Okay. Let's see, we have Mr. Lewis, Jeffrey Zachary. That's Marvin Lewis' case.
I think that one's gonna be complete too.
Oh, okay. He says there may be, is this your only case you have today?
I have one more, it's Alina's Dunham. And that one seemed like it was transferred over.
You say Dunham?
Dunham.
Yeah, Helena.
Right, so I need to speak to the state on that.
You want to hold on it?
I can hold on.
Okay. Haynes, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney LaKayla Friday, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
How you doing, Ms. Friday? I'm doing fine. Ms. Friday, do you waive a record in Mr. Haynes' cases?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Haynes, I have before me in cause number 322826, an information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about February 3rd of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level, no, excuse me, driving while intoxicated while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. Do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Haynes, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? Okay, Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Okay, you have to, this, you can check this box.
Okay.
You can use, this is the eraser, so you can,
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Haynes, I have before me a document that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Mr. Haynes, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Mr. Haynes, on this document, which is the misdemeanor plea admonishment, page 1, the box that's checked states that this is a driving while intoxicated first offense, which is a Class B misdemeanor. The range of punishment is confinement in jail for at least 72 hours, but not to exceed 180 days, a fine not to exceed $2,000, or both such fine and confinement. Do you understand the range of punishment?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Haynes, there are a set of initials TH that are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty.
Yes,
Are
sir.
these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Haynes, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that are checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that discovery certification.
Yes, sir. I have 2 of them, so.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Haynes, I have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Haynes, before you signed and initialed these documents, all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor. State
Any
office states
objections?
one.
No, thank you.
No objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Haynes, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Friday, you've advised and counseled Mr. Haynes. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
Mr. Haynes, your attorney, Ms. Friday, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea in cause number 322826, the DWI, and in the companion case 323924, the possession of a controlled substance case, the state's recommending confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 90 days, to be probated for a period of 12 months, a $700 fine, 40 hours community service restitution, cost of court, the standard conditions of probation to include DWI conditions such as the DWI education course, the drug and alcohol assessment, and those conditions are all, and that term of community supervision in the terms of probation are to run concurrent on both 322826 and 323924. Additionally, the state has agreed to dismiss the companion cases in cause number 325164, the possession of a dangerous drug, and 325166, possession of a controlled substance pursuant to chapter 1245 of the Texas Penal Code as well, Judge.
May I ask first, please?
You talk to your attorney first. Okay. Mr. Haynes, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be placed on probation for 12 months. During the 12-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $700 plus court costs of $452, which comes to a total of $1,152. You will also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Where you get court-appointed attorney's fees from? He wasn't appointed in this case. Okay. She has to make a correction on the paperwork. Yeah, it shouldn't take that long. And same thing on the other case too. Somebody must have keyed it in wrong. Yeah. And just put 0. Yeah.
They're gonna have to fix it. Let's promise me to do it.
You can't put 0 in? Okay. Get,
Not be 0.
okay, get, okay, we have to, yeah, just have a seat.
Put this in a hold, Judge?
Yes. Ms. Cole, you could come forward.
This is on Taylor, Your Honor.
Yeah, hold on, he's coming. He's going to get him. Yes, Michael Wayland Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor? Court is in session and calls number 330-488. Case is style the state of Texas versus Michael Wayland Taylor. Mr. Taylor, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Taylor?
You know,
You doing all right?
trying to,
That's good. Just hang in there. Don't hang up.
I got you.
Mr. Taylor, you're right here represented by your attorney, Attorney Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Attorney Cole, what's your announcement in Mr. Taylor's case?
I would like a 30-day research on it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Mr. Taylor, your case is going to be reset for 30 days. Your attorney is going to sign for your reset date. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And I thank you.
That's correct.
Here's that other, just the other judgment.
Appreciate you.
Oh, I did. It's mixed out. Okay, Giles Taylor.
Yes.
We'll find that out.
So, pretty much.
120, okay?
Sounds good.
Court is back in session and cause number 322-826, case of South State of Texas versus Timothy Joseph Haynes. Previously, Mr. Haynes, did we swear you in? Okay. Mr. Haynes, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Haynes, you can put your hand down there. Mr. Haynes, I'm gonna go ahead and do this again. I have before me an information that alleges that on or about February 3rd of 2019, while you in Jefferson County, Texas, operating the motor vehicle in a public place, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated in clause number 322-826. Mr. Haynes, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty? Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that's titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Haynes, are these your initials, TH?
Yes, sir.
And did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature buzzer line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, there are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargaining agreement and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box that's checked states that you are waiving your right to appeal, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that is titled Discover Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Haynes, before you sign and initial these documents, all of these documents that I just mentioned, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Haynes, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Friday, you advising counsel, Mr. Haynes, is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
And state, I have before me state's exhibit number 1. You like offer states 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state offer states one.
Any objections? No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Haynes, your attorney, Ms. Friday has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Haynes, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, Mr. Coleman, will you please repeat the plea bargain agreement that we have in the DWI case?
Yes, Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea in both the cause number 322-826, the DWI, and 323-924, the possession of a controlled substance, states recommended confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 90 days. However, we're asking that the court suspend the imposition of that jail sentence and place the defendant on community supervision for a period of 12 months, or be a $700 fine, perform 40 hours of community service restitution, pay the cost of court, and comply with the standard terms and conditions of probation to include participating in DWI conditions such as the DWI education course, drug and alcohol assessment, and the following recommendations that come from that. The state's recommendation is intended to run concurrent on both 322-826 and 323-924. And as part of this deal, we're also agreeing to dismiss the companion cases pursuant to chapter 12.5 of the Penal Code that appear in cause number 325-164 and 325-166, Judge.
Now, this case is only running concurrent with one case. I think you announced, you said 2 cases.
It's intended to run concurrent on the cause number ending in 826 and ending in 924. And then we're dismissing 164 and 166.
Okay. Cause number 826 is the charge, so it's not running concurrent with itself. Okay. All right, so Mr. Haynes, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you'll be placed on probation for 12 months. During the 12-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $700 plus court costs of $452. The total fine and court costs is $1,152. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $6 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. You'll be required to pay the DWI education class and initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the plea. Should a further evaluation be needed, you will also be required to pay an additional $50. And just for the record, Ms. Friday, are you waiving a record in this case?
Yes, Judge.
And Mr. Haynes, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation is $180. Will you be able to pay the $180?
Yes.
You also, okay, you will also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, attend and complete a DWI education class, and you will also have a drug and alcohol assessment. You will also be required, well, this case will run concurrent with cause number 323924, and the state will be dismissing cause numbers 325164, cause number 325166, and you will also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Haynes, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Just print that out. I'll hold on it. And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Haynes, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you made with the state. Now, Mr. Haynes, the next case is cause number 323924. In this case, Mr. Haynes, I have before me an information that alleges that on or about February 3rd, 2019, while you're in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of controlled substance penalty group 2A. Mr. Haynes, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Haynes, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And Mr. Haynes, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Haynes, there's set up initial TH on a line that is titled guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, Mr. Haynes, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled trial court certification, defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you are waiving your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? And Mr. Haynes, I also have before me a document that is titled discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? Mr. Haynes, prior to signing and initialing all of these documents that I've just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Friday, you've advised and counseled Mr. Haynes. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Judge.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state offer states one.
Any objections?
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Haynes, your attorney, Ms. Friday has advised and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with her representation?
Yes, sir.
Has she provided fully effective and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waiver were freely and voluntarily given. I also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, We have a plea bargaining agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty in this case, and also in the companion case of 3222826 to DWI, state's recommended confinement in the Jefferson County Jail for a period of 90 days. However, we're asking the court to suspend the imposition of the jail sentence, place the defendant on 12 months community supervision, or they pay a $700 fine, perform 40 hours community service, pay the cost of court, and comply with the standard terms and condition of probation, including the DWI conditions, such as a DWI education course and submitting to a drug and alcohol assessment and following any recommendations thereof. Also, as part of this plea agreement, Judge, we're agreeing to dismiss the companion cases of possession of a dangerous drug appearing in cause number 325-164 and the possession of a controlled substance appearing in cause number 325-166.
Now, I know you mentioned in this case that you wanted to do a DWI education class and a drug and alcohol education and a drug assessment in this case, because I'm looking at the
I misspoke. It
Okay.
should only be in the DWI case.
Okay. All right, so, Mr. Haynes, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in Jefferson County Jail. However, you not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail because you'll be placed on probation for 12 months. During the 12-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $700 plus plus court costs of $452. The total fine and court cost is $1,152. You'll also be required to pay $100 to reimburse the crime lab. You will not be required to pay a probation fee in this case because you're paying it in the previous case. You'll be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Your total monthly installments in this case is $120 per month. Mr. Haynes, will you be able to pay the $120 per month?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Haynes, you'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service. You'll be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. This probation will run concurrent with clause number 322-826, and the state will be dismissing clause number 325-164 and clause number 325-166. Mr. Haynes, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Haynes, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreements that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Haynes, this will conclude your case. Please stand on the X next to your attorney. You want to follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And just for the record, Ms. Friday, you are waiving the record in both cases. Is that correct? All right. All right. You can stand on the X. Right here, this X right here.
Josh, I know you trial case precinct.
Just hold on.
Please, since you kind of covered the whole, so he's gonna call. Different counties call different things.
Okay, thank you.
Court is in session at cause number 327-195. Case is style of State of Texas versus Helena and Dunham. Ms. Dunham, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Ms. Dunham?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
Doing better, like just working on things.
Well, that's good.
Way better than I was about 2-3 years ago.
Okay. Okay. That's good. We'd like to encourage you to keep, working on trying to make an improvement.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Ms. Dunham, you're here represented by your attorney, Marvin Lewis. Attorney Lewis, how are you doing?
Doing all right, Judge. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Ms. Lewis, what's your announcement in Ms. Dunham's case?
Well, Judge, this is one that was, I guess recently was transferred over from court 3.
Okay.
It wasn't any notes, I guess, from the state, but she did give me an offer this morning. I
You
just
need some more time.
Yeah, time.
How much time you need?
30 days.
Okay, give us a reset date.
What docket is it on?
Announcement docket, third from the bottom. Okay, this case is gonna be reset June 20, 2022, Ms. Dunham. Again, we'd like to encourage you to keep on working on your self-improvement program, and your case is gonna be reset. Just get with your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Mr. Kimler, Jacob Reed.
You can sign
These cases on the trial docket. I think this one is Miss Nelson's case. And this is cause number 330110, case of South State of Texas versus Jacob Allen Reed. Mr. Reed, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Reed?
Pretty good, Judge.
That's good, Mr. Reed. You're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Judge.
And Mr. Kimler, what's your announcement?
Ready?
Okay, I've got to get it reset. Give us a reset date, July 25th of 2022, Mr.
Take a day on vacation.
Oh, you do? Okay, give him another month. Yeah, go to the next month. That's fine. Okay, this case is gonna be reset to August 8th of 2022. Mr. Reed, you're gonna get your reset from your attorney. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Kimler. Mr. Kimler has to sign for your reset.
Okay, you can sign that.
Okay, Gregory Ross. Okay, this is cause number 331164, case of style of State of Texas versus Gregory Scott Ross. Mr. Ross, how are you doing?
Very well, sir.
That's good. Mr. Ross, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Wright Kimler. Attorney Kimler, what's your announcement?
Ready?
Okay. Okay, now, Mr. Kimler, you want this case reset on the same date?
Yes, sir, honestly.
Okay, it's gonna be reset to August 8th, 2022. Mr. Ross, your attorney's gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kimler, would you please sign for the reset? Matter of fact, he has two cases, four cases, yeah. Clause number 331164, clause number 331168, clause number 331170, and clause number 331172.
Yes,
One more question. On one. No, I want to make sure I put the right thing.
You can text me.
Court is in session in two cases. First case is cause number 331-206. Second case is cause number 331-208. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Alexander Paul Martinez. Mr. Martinez, is that your full name?
Yes, Your Honor.
How are you doing, Mr. Martinez?
Good day.
You doing fine?
Yes, how about you, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Martinez, you're here represented by your attorney Saeed Imam.
Imam, yes, sir.
Imam.
Not fair.
How you doing, Attorney Imam?
Good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Attorney Imam, do you waive a record in Mr. Martinez cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Martinez, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Swear.
You may put your hand down. Mr. Martinez, I have before me in cause number 331-206, a document that is titled information. This information alleges that on or about October 28 of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of, the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Martinez, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Search transportation.
The title is resisting arrest, search, or transportation. It's either you resisted arrest, you resisted search, or you resisted transportation.
Yes.
And do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty. Now, you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty?
By advice of my,
Okay. Do you understand the difference between guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
the guilt was the plea of, deferred adjudication.
No.
That's what I heard.
Do you know the difference between
Oh, yeah,
pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes.
Now, and are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
All right. Now, Mr. Martinez, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document?
He's the one he spoke with.
Yes. And on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line that's next to a box that says guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
It's kind of,
You need to stand right here. You can stand here on this section if you need to be a little closer.
I saw it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Now,
It's just a little funky little.
oh, okay, well, now, Mr. Martinez, I also have before me on page 3, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes.
And on the next document that is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature above the line that is titled defendant?
Yes.
There's one box that's checked at the top of this document. That box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Agreed.
You understand that?
Yeah.
And I have another where's the discovery certification?
Right here.
Now, Mr. Martinez, I have another document here. This document is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, Mr. Martinez, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney, Mr. Imam, go over these documents with you?
Yes.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer States 1?
Yes, Judge, state offer states one.
Any objections?
No objections.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Attorney Imam, you've advised and counseled Mr. Martinez. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Martinez, your attorney, Attorney Imam, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
And Mr. Martinez, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, excuse me, in exchange for his plea in this case, we're recommending that the court defer a finding of guilt and place the defendant on community supervision for a period of 24 months, or they pay a $500 fine, that he pay the cost of court, that he perform 32 hours of community service restitution, and also as a condition of his probation, that he be placed on the mental health case level.
Now, Mr. Let's do this here. Mr. Imam,
Yes, Your Honor.
we earlier the court asked whether or not, since you've advised and counsel, Mr. Martinez, was there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And based on your counseling with Mr. Martinez, Mr. Martinez understand what he's been charged with, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
He has been able to, I guess, give you facts that's pertinent to this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
He understand the consequences of entering a plea of guilty, is that
Yes, Your
correct? And based on the totality of information that you have gathered from being his attorney, it's your opinion that he is competent to stand trial, is that
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Imam, the state is offering that you serve, get a judgment, that you be placed on deferred adjudicated probation for a period of 24 months. During the 24-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $852. Excuse me, a fine of $500 plus court costs of $352, which comes to a total of $852 of fine and court costs. You'll also be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay while you are on probation, is $115 per month. Mr. Martinez, will you be able to pay the $150 each month?
I have no job. I do not have a job, Your Honor.
Okay. Give me could I get one of those forms? Could we have y'all to fill out one of those affidavits? Have them to fill out one of them. Just have a seat, and then we're gonna call you back up. Okay. Okay, the court is back in session to cause number 331206, case of South State of Texas versus Alexander Paul Martinez. We have Mr. Martinez, who previously was sworn in. Mr. Martinez also entered a plea of guilty to Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Martinez acknowledged that his initials and signatures was on State's Exhibit Number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. He also acknowledged that his signatures on the trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. And he also acknowledged that his signature was on the discovery certification. He acknowledged that his attorney went over these documents with him. He read and understood everything in these documents. And everything in these documents are true and correct to the best of his knowledge. The state, the court accepted the defendant's plea of guilty. The court also found that Mr. Martinez was mentally competent to stand trial. His pleas and waivers was freely and voluntarily given, and that there is sufficient evidence to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The state offered Mr. Martinez 24 months deferred adjudicated probation, fine of $500 plus court costs, 32 hours of community service, and participation in the mental health program with the Jefferson County Probation Office. Now, Mr. Martinez, the court informed you that the court is that the state is offering 24 months deferred adjudicated probation, fine of $500 plus court costs. The court cost is $352, which comes to a total of fine and court costs of $852. Probation fee in this case is $60 each month, and a urinalysis fee of $15 each month. Mr. Martinez informed the court when the court asked if he was able to pay the monthly installments of $115 per month. Mr. Martinez informed the court that he was unemployed. Mr. Martinez and his attorney has filled out an affidavit of indigence. The court has a copy of that affidavit of indigence. Mr. Martinez, is this the document that you and your attorney just filled out, the affidavit of indigence? Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant's signature?
Yes, sir.
And prior to signing this document, did your attorney go over this document with you? And did you read and understand everything in this document? And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Martinez, based on the information in this document, no income, no monthly expenses, the court is going to convert 852. $60. Okay, now, Mr. Martinez, the court pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure is finding that you're indigent, and the court is going to convert your fine and court costs of $852 to community service, to 68 hours of community service. That 68 hours of community service will be in addition to the 32 hours of community service. So that's a total, must be 100 hours of community service. Now, the probation fee of $60 each month is going to be reduced to the statutory minimum of $25 per month. Do you understand that? Now, this is going to drastically reduce the amount of money that you'll be required to pay each month while you're on probation. The probation department is going to recalculate these numbers. Do you understand that? So it just off the top of my head, it looks like you'll be paying a urinalysis fee of $15 a month and a probation fee of $25 a month, which comes to a total of $40 per month. Do you understand that? Now, will you be able to pay the $40 per month?
I have no job, no income.
You won't be able to pay it at all?
I could probably find a job.
No.
Oh, okay, I don't wanna put that on here, but I can ask my mom.
Okay, let me ask you this. Now, do you receive any type of governmental benefits?
No, whatsoever.
You don't receive none?
I received-
Oh, okay. Let me look at 93 point.
I've spoken to his mother regarding the payments, Your Honor. She does seem like she will be stepping up to help him with whatever he cannot afford. He does
Okay.
live with his mother currently.
Yeah, I know, but it's not his mother's responsibility.
Yes, sir.
Oh, here we go. Under, because this could be reversed too. That's the way payments of part of the fine imposed. Well, no, that's not that already. That's not working hardship, so. Hardship under this. Let me see what's going on. Consider that. Let me see. Talk about fine, payment of fines and costs. Now, does he have any other, because the court, the court has converted the fine and court costs to community service. So what the court is looking at now, the probation fee has been reduced to the statutory minimum, $25.
Yes, sir.
And the only other issue is the $15 urinalysis fee that he is required to pay. Significant physical, mental impairment or disability. Now, let me ask you, sir, is it his inability? Have you worked?
Yes.
You just currently not working? Okay, so it's not
I
that
was
you.
homeless recently, so.
Okay, but I'm saying it's not that you've been unable to work. You just said you've been homeless.
Yeah. I was trying to leave that city I was in, and it didn't work out.
Okay. What to do? The court is gonna keep it like it is. We could monitor the situation, and probation officer could contact the court to let the court know whether or not he'll be able to handle the situation. Okay, because the court was looking at also Article 43.091. And the court has considered the methods in 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, and to determine whether or not it worked to undue hardship. But in view of the fact that he is able to work and do the community service, does not work an undue hardship on him to do the community service.
There was one other thing, I neglected to mention that we're also dismissing the companion case appearing in cause number 331208. We're dismissing that.
Right.
Part of the defendant's plea in this case pursuant to chapter 1245.
Okay, okay. So now, Mr. Martinez, you'll be required to perform an additional 32 hours, the regular 32 hours that you were doing in community service, in addition to the 68 hours that will be converted from your fine and court costs. And you also will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of probation. And cause number 331208 will be dismissed. And you will be placed on the mental health caseload. Do you understand? Now, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Martinez, you can stand on the X next to your attorney, the X next to your attorney. You're gonna follow the directions of our court coordinator. And Mr. Martinez, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed, but not appear on your record as conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. Your attorney, Mr. Imam, is quite competent in these matters, and you can talk to him about the non-disclosure. Do you understand? All right. Once you follow the directions of our clerk, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day. And Attorney Imam, nice seeing you.
You too, Judge.
Once you finish here, you'll be free to go as well.
Thank
And
you,
you have a
Judge.
blessed day. You're
There's
welcome.
one thing, Judge, we just asked this case to be allowed to be transferred to Galveston County.
He can discuss that with the probation officer.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
They'll be here.
Yeah. Who do we have next? Is it, hold on, is this one? No, this is a different one. Adams. On y'all way back, make sure y'all drive safe and y'all have a safe trip.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye. Court is in session and calls number 331084, cases style, the state of Texas versus Jill and Rashad Adams. Mr. Adams, is that your full name? Mr. Adams, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Adams, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Adams, you may put your hand down. Mr. Adams, you're here represented by your attorney, John West. Attorney West, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney West, do you waive a record in Mr. Adams' case?
We do, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, I have before me an information that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This information alleges that on or about August 31st of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Adams, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, how did you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Adams, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Do you recognize this document? Okay, Mr. Adams, on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials on a line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, Mr. Adams, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Are these your, is this your, well, there are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that? I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Adams, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on this line? It's titled Defendant. Now, Mr. Adams, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. West, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you also like to offer State's Exhibit number 2?
Yes, Judge.
The probable cause affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers both states 1 and 2.
Any objections,
No
Mr. West?
objection.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Adams, your attorney, Mr. West, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Adams, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Mr. West, you've advised and counseled Mr. Adams. Is there any evidence that he is mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest in this case, the state's recommending that the court defer a finding of guilty, place the defendant on community supervision for a period of 18 months, order that he pay a $500 fine, that he perform 60 hours of community service restitution, and that in addition to the standard terms and condition of probation, that he participate in what I know to be cognitive education. I've also heard it sometimes referred to as thinking for the future, but nevertheless, whatever the equivalent of that will be here in Jefferson County.
I think it's like moral recognition or something.
Okay.
Whatever it's called, Your Honor, that's.
Yeah, that's what I think it's called, moral recognition.
Okay, Judge.
Mr. Adams, the state is offering that you serve 18 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 18-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 plus court costs of $307, which comes to a total of $807. You'll also be required to pay $60 a month probation fee, $15 a month your analysis fee. You'll also be required to reimburse Jefferson County Court appointed attorney's fees of $250. The total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $140 per month. Mr. Adams, will you be able to pay the $140 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to attend and complete the, I think that's the cognitive education class or equivalent. Normally it's like moral recognition. You'll also be required to adhere and complete the other standard terms and conditions of probation. Mr. Adams, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's, Adams?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer? Excuse me. Now, Mr. Adams, I'll defer finding the guilt, place you on probation for 18 months with the terms that has been agreed to. Mr. Adams, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear in your record as a conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney, Mr. West, about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Mr. Adams, you're gonna stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. You're welcome. What's the next one? And Mr. West, this is your last case?
I believe it's the only other one I had, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll be free to go as well, Mr. West, and you have a blessed day. Make sure y'all drive safely as well. Court is in session and calls number 329596, case of South State of Texas versus Melvin Ray Palmer. Mr. Palmer, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Palmer, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Palmer, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Mr. Palmer, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Palmer? I'm doing fine, Mr. Palmer. You're here represented by your attorney, William Wilkerson. Attorney Wilkerson, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Judge. Thank
Ms. Wilkerson, do you waive a record in Mr. Palmer's case?
you. Yes.
Mr. Palmer, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document alleges that on or about March 3rd of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of attempt to elude police officer. Mr. Palmer, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Was it a attempt?
That's what it says, attempt to elude police officer.
I'm fine with that, Judge.
That's fine, Your Honor.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, okay. Now, to this charge, Mr. Palmer, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Yes.
Now, you're pleading guilty, but the judgment says elude and flee. It
That's
doesn't
what I
say
thought.
attempt.
That's what I thought.
That was my understanding of what was really charged with.
Oh, the docket, she said elude, the judgment said elude, but the information says attempt to elude. They're gonna have to enter the right code for it to come out right on the judgment, is what I'm saying.
Because I'm okay with proceeding with well, if we proceed with the lesser of attempted, does that drop us down from
To drop it from an A to a B.
and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, but I mean, but the paperwork is not coming out right, is what I'm saying. Yeah, they're gonna have to change it. They're gonna have to they're gonna have to make a change in
He
the,
has to call, district attorney to have them change the code, change it and then.
yeah, we're gonna have to reset it.
Okay, yeah, can we, I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't mean to say, yeah, I've got to be over for CDC's jail docket in just a little while.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, if we don't, not able to do it today,
It's not
yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah.
So.
I mean, we could reset it a week, we could reset it a month. I mean, depending on when y'all want to do it.
If we could just get a.
So just so I'm clear, Judge, not only do we need to change our charging instrument, but we need to change.
I know, I
the
think it's a
system?
code. It's a
We
code
change the
that they
code.
put the wrong code in, and that's why all the paperwork is coming out wrong.
Yeah. Once they change it from upstairs, they let the clerk's office know.
And it's gonna change it in the whole system.
Can we put it on Friday, June 17th? Would that be
Okay.
agreeable?
No objection.
That's fine. June 17th, Friday, June 17th. Okay. Mr. Palmer, your attorney gonna sign for your reset. Once you get your reset, you'll be free to go on your own blessed day. We don't need,
Sorry about that.
unless y'all just wanna hold on to these.
It's gonna be a minute.
Well, this is not gonna, I don't know if you wanna hold on to
Yeah,
those.
I'll just hang on to that.
Yeah, and you can get rid of those. Okay, we have, you have the paperwork on the other case?
No,
Okay. MIS gone, they, Okay. Court is in session in cause number 326092, case of style of state of Texas versus Jeffrey Zachary. Mr. Zachary, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Zachary? Yes, I'm doing fine, Mr. Zachary. Would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Zachary, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zachary, you may put your hand down. Mr. Zachary, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Marvin Lewis. Attorney Lewis, how are you doing?
Doing all right, Judge. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Attorney Lewis, do you waive a record in Mr. Zachary's case?
We do.
Mr. Zachary, I have before me a document that has been filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about November 22nd of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2A. Mr. Zachary, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Zachary, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight on contested charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zachary, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonished. Mr. Zachary, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Zachary, there are a set of initials, JZ, on a line next to a box that's checked nolo contendere, which means no contest.
Yes, sir.
Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes.
And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification, the Defendant's Right of Appeal, Mr. Zachary, do you recognize this document?
Correct.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Zachary, at the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case, and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me, Mr. Zachary, a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that's titled Defendant? Now, Mr. Zachary, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Lewis, go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2?
State offers 1 and 2, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. The court will take judicial notice of the probable cause affidavit that's on file. Mr. Zachary, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Lewis, you've advised and counseled Mr. Zachary. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
He's competent.
Mr. Zachary, your attorney, Mr. Lewis, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zachary, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
It's 2 days credit for 2 days.
Well, is he, state is offering that he pay a fine in this case, plus court costs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the fine is?
$650.
Okay, now, Mr. Zachary, the state is offering that you pay a fine of $650. And you'll be given credit toward your fine and court costs of 2 days. Now, the court cost in this case is $342. So the total fine and court cost is, okay, the total fine and court cost is $992. However, you will be given credit of 2 days toward that. So your total fine will be $792. Fine and court cost will be a total of $792. Mr. Zachary, would you be able to pay that today?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Zachary, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Zachary, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Zachary, this will conclude your case. Going to stand on the X next to your attorney. They're going to give you the paperwork. And you'll show him when he need to make a payment in the sheriff's office. He's going to show you. Yeah. And once you make that payment, you need to bring a receipt up here. And that'll finalize your case. All right, and you have a blessed day. Mr. Zachary, Ms. Zachary, you have a blessed day as well. All right. Let's see, now this is we're going to move to our bond forfeitures. On our pretrial conference docket, I don't think we have any bond forfeitures on that docket. And on the trial docket, I don't think we have any bond forfeitures on the trial docket either. Okay. Now we'll move to our announcement docket. And on the announcement docket, we have cause number 322365-2. Status, the case is styled of State of Texas versus Rodney Rochelle Cleveland. Rodney Cleveland was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's announcement docket. At or about 9 a.m., Rodney Cleveland's name was called, and Rodney Cleveland did not answer. Rodney Cleveland has not appeared in court since the court's been in session. The time now is 12:20 p.m. on today's date. Mr. Bailey, could you please call the name of Rodney Cleveland?
He was here for the felony, but he didn't show up for the misdemeanor. He was on another docket.
Rodney Cleveland's name was just called again by the court's bailiff at the courthouse door. Rodney Cleveland did not answer. A reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Cleveland an opportunity to appear in court. Mr. Prosecutor or Ms. Prosecutor, do the state have a motion?
State moves for
That motion will be granted. A warrant will be issued for the arrest of Rodney Cleveland, and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest. Next case is cause number Cameron Austin Hernandez. Okay.
He called in and said his house caught on fire this morning and wanted to get a reset. And of course, I told him that I could not reset his case, and he wanted to see if he can appear here. I told him he had to be in person due to the warrant he had. And he said, okay.
Okay. Now, Cameron Hernandez was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's announcement docket and cause number 322-936. Cameron Hernandez did contact the court, talk to our court coordinator, Ms. Redmond, and the court coordinator. I think he informed the court coordinator that I think a house caught on fire, and the court coordinator told him that he had to be in present, and the reason why is because he has a warrant out for his arrest. And he was given information to, well, he had to be in person. He did not appear in person. Court has been in session since 9 a.m. this morning on today's date of May 16th of 2022. And Cameron Hernandez did not appear. State, well, Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Cameron Hernandez? The time now is 12:22 p.m. on today's date. Yeah. Okay, Cameron Hernandez just appeared, did not answer. State, do we have a motion?
State moves for bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
Okay, that motion will be granted. Oh, okay. Was Paul Quibido reset? That's Mr. Gert's case. Paul Quibido on page 2. That's the gentleman who came in. June 20th. Okay. 2022. Okay. That's it. Palmer, okay.
The one,
Palmer was reset to June 17th. Yeah,
when do we,
yeah, they had that was attempt to elude. Okay, this will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket, the court's pretrial conference plea docket, and the court's trial docket. All three dockets are scheduled today, this morning at 9 a.m. on the day's date of May 16th, 2022, in County Court of Law Number 2, Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.